What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Mind Something. If you're new here, my name is Jake, and in today's video, we're going to take a deep dive into Verus Coin. We're going to take a look at what is the project. We're going to take a look at the wallets. We're going to take a look at the miners. We're going to take a look at tokenomics. We're going to take a look at exchanges. And then we're going to highlight some of the important things to note, as well as how to mine it. But before we get into the content, if you would, do me a favor, hit that like, and if you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so by the end of the video. So if you're not familiar with Verus Coin already, you should be, because this project has been around for over 5 years. I believe May 21st of 2018 it was launched with no ICO. And you know what? I think the founder and lead developer Mike Toutonghi can explain it better than I can. So let's go ahead and let Mike take the lead here.
Verus itself is not a new cryptocurrency. In fact, it's an independent blockchain launched May 21st, 2018 with no ICO, no pre-allocation of funds, and no development fee or rent built into the protocol whatsoever. Verus is complete with both transparent and zero-knowledge privacy protocols and an ecologically efficient, provably 51% hash attack resistant consensus protocol. It's an evolution of Nakamoto consensus that incorporates proof of stake as well, and the only blockchain with self-sovereign, revocable, recoverable, and interoperable addresses and identities built into the core protocol. Verus identities are supported across all transaction types, compatible with other provable ID technologies, and serve as a foundation for all currencies and blockchains on the network. Applications of the Verus network extend far beyond dApps of blockchain today. Any individual, project, organization, or community needing an easy-to-use, reliable, decentralized, rent-free currency, fundraising platform, voting network, automated accounting system, or self-sovereign, revocable, recoverable identities, and a governance model can connect to the Verus Internet of Value and get started with no programming required. Solutions that used to take weeks or longer to design and code with Solidity experts can now be done better, faster, and more securely, no programming needed. With Verus's multi-chain model, scale challenges of today can be naturally solved by scaling out as needed, whether requirements call for centralized corporate, open government, or fully decentralized applications. In addition to this new technology, disruptive even among modern blockchains, the open, community-driven genesis and approach enables Verus to be the first and only rent-free, decentralized financial network capable of hosting multiple independent, yet connected real-world economies, with thousands of connected blockchains, millions of fungible currencies, and billions of users. Verus is an open protocol, implemented in fully open source, designed to connect, interoperate with, and serve as either independent or augmenting infrastructure for existing or completely new and more scalable, provable, fair, and trustworthy systems than what we have anywhere today. You can download the free and open source Verus wallet from verus.io, connect to the public testnet, drop by the Discord for some free test currencies, and get started. Without any actual programming, just commands, you will be able to create revocable, recoverable identities that you can then use to launch currencies, blockchains, liquidity baskets, automatically bridged ERC20 Ethereum currencies, and multi-chain applications using all currencies available on Verus or Ethereum. I look forward.
So that was a lot to go over, and if you're not familiar with Mike, something you should be aware of, this guy's been in the space for quite a while. Not only is he the lead developer of the Verus Coin project, but he was also vice president and a distinguished engineer from Microsoft from 1992 to 2003. He's got a pretty long resume here, and I think that Mike is somebody in the space that knows what they're talking about. Now, a lot of that stuff is over my head, and perhaps it may be over yours as well. So we're going to kind of break this down into details. But first, let's take a look at where we're at in price right now. So currently, Verus Coin is sitting at 49 cents. And you can see over the last 24 hours that it's had about a 5% increase, and over the course of the last 7 days, it's pretty much sideways. Over the last month, it's down considerably, about 30%. Over the last year, however, it is up about 30%, and at one point, it was up considerably more. But again, looking at the all-time chart, this chart doesn't go back to 2018, it only goes back to 2020. But on April 27th of 2021, you can see that we hit a price of $2.94. So if we go back to the previous all-time high, there's definitely a lot of profitability to be had. So I want to go over the tokenomics with you guys and the block rewards, as well as a few other things, and just a few things to point out here while we've got coin market cap pulled up. We are currently sitting at a market cap of 37 million. 24-hour volume is about $5,000. The circulating supply is just over 73 million, and the max supply is just over 83 million, which means we are currently at almost 88% of the emission schedule already deployed. So if we take a look at the block rewards, you can see between 2022 and 2025, we will switch from 6 Verus per block to 3 Verus per block. But this is actually not correct in the sense that because it is both proof of work and proof of stake, we are actually getting 12 Verus coins per block. 6 of them would be going to proof of work and 6 of them going to proof of stake. So let me show you one of the most recent blocks here. We're getting 699 blocks. 359 went to proof of work and 340 went to proof of stake. A total block reward of 8,388, of which 4,308 went to proof of work and 4,080 went to proof of stake. So this is a very interesting consensus algorithm being split 50-50, and if you are not staking your Verus coins, perhaps that is something you should look into. So if we take a look at exchanges that it's listed on, currently it's on SafeTrade as well as TradeOgre, Atomic Dex, and GraviX. Now I did take a look at trading volume on SafeTrade and TradeOgre. SafeTrade is quite a bit higher at about $2,000 right now, and TradeOgre was at $225. So it looks like we have about $2,700 split between Atomic Dex and GraviX. If we take a look at miningpoolstats.stream, you can see that difficulty has gone up considerably over the last 7 days. However, there was a network upgrade on May 23rd or 25th, somewhere in between there. And a lot of the pools and the miners did not update. So you can see a considerable amount of hash rate fell off at that time, but it is starting to pick back up. So you're probably asking yourself, well, what were the network upgrades for? And essentially, there's been a lot of network upgrades, especially recently, but what this is all moving towards is public blockchain as a service, which is, you know, a revolutionary idea, essentially, where you have a free utility to be able to launch new chains. And that is going to open up what they refer to as merged mining. I think a lot of other projects are shooting for this, but this has been something that's been very difficult to enable. And so far, there aren't many who have accomplished it, but we're getting one step closer here with Verus Coin. So when it comes to mining Verus Coin, you notice there's quite a few different options here, but this is not your typical CPU or GPU mining coin because they implemented the ability to mine this on mobile devices. So what does profitability look like right now on Verus Coin? So if we take a look at minerstat.com, we've got a profitability calculator here, and I've got a Samsung Note 20 that's getting me about 5 mega hash at about 3 to 5 watts. Now, obviously that's not using a ton of power, but the amount of mega hash that we're getting out of that Note 20 is pretty significant compared to some of the older lower end CPUs. Now, of course, if you've got something like a 5950X or a 3900X or even a 7950X, obviously you're going to garner a lot more hash rate, but you are going to use a little bit more power. We'll cover that here in just a moment. But you can see that this Samsung Note 5 is yielding roughly about 6 cents a day, and after electricity at 12 cents per kilowatt hour, we're looking at 5 cents a day in profit. Now, granted, these are very, very low amounts that we're referring to, but this is also very, very low power consumption as well, so keep that in mind. And if we take a look at GPU profitability right now, let's go ahead and switch this to 12 cents per kilowatt hour. Okay, so at 12 cents per kilowatt hour, a 4090 is getting you about 33 cents a day in profit. We've got 5 cents a day on a 6800 XT. A 3090 is only garnering 4 cents a day in profit on Radiant at 12 cents per kilowatt hour. So my phone that's sitting in a drawer collecting dust is just as profitable as a 3090 is right now at 12 cents per kilowatt hour. So if you're curious what hash rates are on some of these Android devices, there is a video. I'm going to leave a link down in the description for this, but this is from someone called Crypto Passive Income Ideas, and he's got a nice little spreadsheet here that displays the hash rates as well as the efficiency and the amount of threads on each of these different devices. And if we take a look at a comparison between mining on a phone versus a CPU, and it is GPU mineable, by the way, you can see pretty quickly that phones do outperform efficiency compared to CPUs and GPUs. Now, CPUs are still going to be profitable. GPUs, on the other hand, are not going to be. By the way, these numbers are based on 12 cents per kilowatt hour. So a Samsung Note 20, a hash rate of 5 megahash at roughly 5 watts is going to get you 1 megahash per watt, or revenue of 6 cents and a profit of 5 cents, which would be a margin of about 83% compared to how much you're spending in electricity. Now, another good device that was shared with us by Retro Mike is the Samsung A03, and it gets a hash rate of 2.7 megahash at 4 watts, which is roughly 0.675 megahash per watt, with a revenue of 3 cents, profit of 2 cents, and a margin of 0.66. Then we've got the 5950X coming in at 50 megahash at about 135 watts, which is 0.37 megahash per watt, and that is a revenue of about 60 cents per day and a profit of about 21 cents per day, and our margin drops considerably down to 0.35. Then we've got a 3900X getting about 30 megahash at 103 watts, which is an efficiency rating of 0.29, revenue of 36 cents a day, profit of only 6 cents a day, and as you can see, the margin goes down considerably. Then we get to GPUs. The 40 series GPUs were pretty good compared to the 30 series and the other GPUs, but even a 4070 is only going to get you 16.5 megahash at about 153 watts, which is an efficiency of 0.1 megahash per watt, revenue of 20 cents, but profit would be negative 24 cents. And a 3070 Ti at 14 megahash per watt at 145 watts, an efficiency of 0.09 megahash per watt, revenue of 17 cents, but after electricity, we're looking at negative 25 cents per day. So you can mine this on your CPU and GPU within HiveOS. Let me give you guys an example of how I've got my flight sheet set up here. All right, so we've got Verus as our coin. Of course, you're going to select your wallet for your pool. I'm doing configure in miner. I am using SRB miner. You do have your options here. So within HiveOS, you can use CC miner or SRB miner. At one point, Hell miner was also an option, but I'm not sure if they've updated with the latest network upgrade. And then if you're using a Android device, then you've got a couple of options there, either Verus miner or Verus box, and we'll cover those here in just a moment. But let's continue and take a look at the setup miner config. So we've got Verus hash selected as our algorithm. We've got the default wallet, the default worker name. I am currently testing pool.verus.io, and we are using port 9999. If you're on a mobile device, you're going to use 9998. Password is X, and we've disabled GPUs, and we are on the latest version, which is currently 2.2.9 of SRB miner. Now I am dual mining and I'm mining Caspa on my GPUs at the moment. I'm sure you guys are familiar with how to set that up. Now, if you wanted to mine only Verus on your GPU and your CPU within HiveOS, I would suggest sticking with SRB miner in this case also. And everything is the same essentially, and you can set your overclocks within your extra arguments here. As you can see, I am using an Intel i3-7100 CPU in this particular mining rig, which is one of the lower end CPUs. I don't typically put a high end CPU in my GPU mining rigs. However, we are garnering a little bit of hash rate on Verus, so we're getting 945 to 950 hashes per thread on this particular CPU. And I'm not sure what kind of power we're using on it, unfortunately. I'm sure it is probably not profitable, but for testing purposes, I just wanted to show you guys how you would set this up. Now, when it comes to mobile mining, let me give you guys a tutorial on how to set this up. Alright, unfortunately for you Apple fans out there, I haven't found a good way to do this on iOS, but of course if you've got an Android, you're just going to pull up the Google Play Store, you're going to search Verus. You've got a wallet, you've got the miner, you've also got another miner. We're just going to select the miner, which is Verus Miner. That's my preference. Hit install. It's going to take a little while to download and install. So this thing is ridiculously easy. I wish it was this easy in some cases to GPU mine certain things. So we're going to adjust settings here. Notice you've got your wallet address. You can adjust how many cores you're using on the CPU. And of course, if you want to change the worker name, that's pretty simple right there. I'm going to go ahead and delete the default and paste in my wallet address here. And notice there is a save button right there, but let's look at some of the other settings here. So of course you've got your poll options, and I believe these are pretty up to date. I haven't been testing this for very long, but for the time being I'm just on the default pool. And you've got some other settings here, but you want to hit save. And now that you've saved it, you can go to the mining tab and just simply hit start. You're going to get a little pop-up here, select OK. If you get any others, allow. And it shouldn't take too long to kick in. And this particular phone is a Note 20, so you're going to see hash rate jump up to over 5 megahash. Now it usually kind of tops out right at about 5 on the pool. And if you click this little button here, this gives you the miner log. And yeah, I mean, this is pretty impressive for an Android app, and so far has worked really well for me. So if you're like me and you were aware that Verus Coin existed, but you're not familiar with the project, you wouldn't know some of these things, such as the public blockchain as a service development. Now, this could potentially be very beneficial for the chain and for miners, because once we start to deploy additional assets on chain, you are potentially going to be merge mining multiple coins, as well as getting rewards split amongst miners, simply because there are fees that are generated from users paying for services and interacting with the protocol. These fees are processed in blocks and earned by miners and stakers. So for a Verus ID registration, you're looking at 20 to 100 Verus coin. Public blockchain as a service chain launch is 10,000 Verus coin. And then currency or token launch is 200 Verus coin, conversion fee of 0.025%, and a transaction of 0.0001 Verus coin. Half of the fee, or 5,000, goes to the miners and the stakers of the newly launched public blockchain as a service chain. As far as pool fees, all the fees generated by the protocol are collected in the fee pool. With each new block, 1% of the fee is added on top of the block rewards. It is expected that fees outnumber block rewards, making mining and staking in the Verus ecosystem a profitable and competitive endeavor. And for those of you out there that are interested in staking, staking is accessible for everyone. Use Verus Holdings to secure the network. It does not matter how much Verus you have. There are no minimum requirements to start staking. On the Verus blockchain, UTXO's unspent transaction outputs are staking, not balances. A large UTXO has more chances of winning a block than a small UTXO. You can also solo stake. There are a few rules you need to know before you can start staking. You've got wallet running, full node required, staking enabled, UTXO eligible after 150 blocks, and a minimum of 0.00000001 Verus in the wallet. With solo staking, you can either win a full block or win nothing. And as far as pool staking is concerned, there are two ways to do pool staking with Verus. One is keeping control of your funds in combination with the Verus ID. The other is sending your coins to a pool operator and trusting your funds with them, which I do not suggest. And a non-custodial staking pool is Synergy Pool. So with all of these things in mind, I am really excited about the future of Verus Coin. There's some things, again, that I want to highlight here. So we've got a lot of recent network upgrades getting deployed on the testnet and the mainnet. We've got merged mining, where you can mine up to 22 different chains at once. You'll have asset creation, which is convertible to the ERC20 on Ethereum network. And it's all open source. You got staking and mining rewards split 50-50, no dev fees. This is a pretty interesting project and one that I wished I had been paying more attention to. But you better believe I am collecting as many phones as I possibly can to get my little phone farm going. Anyways, I'm curious what your thoughts are on the project. This is kind of my first deep dive into it. I probably didn't do it justice, but I appreciate you guys watching. And if you would, before you go, hit that like. And if you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. And I'll see you guys on the next one.